Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa and this is Melissa Knits for Fun. Well, today it's all about the whips, and guys, all about how I messed one up to the point there is no recovery. And so now I'm looking for maybe a different pattern, but I will get there in just a little bit. All right, let's start out with what I am wearing. So what I'm wearing today, this is the Low Tide by Rachel Ilsley, or Unwind Knitwear. This is pretty much by far the most elegant sweater I have ever knit. I love this. It was so much fun to knit. It looks so much more complicated than it actually is. It knits up like a dream. I think it's very easy to follow. She's got both written and charted instructions. This time I actually used the written instructions. I did not use the chart. And I think it's because I didn't realize there was a chart. And so I had already started using the written instructions and had already done a bunch of rounds. And so they just made sense to me. So I never could switch over to the chart. But this is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pattern. And I made this out of, this is Drops Flora in red. It is a single strand of yarn. I didn't hold it with anything. It's got like a nice little bit of halo, but it peels. And I'm trying to see, I think I may have de-peeled this. See if I can show y'all. It peels so badly. This is the one, I talked about it. Yeah, I've pretty much de-peeled it, but you can see I've got a couple, and you can see they're kind of big. They're big peels. This is the one that I had worn to work when I was working in an office in Chicago last year, and I had traveled up there, and I went to the bathroom and I came out, and I mean, there was like a run, like a peel about that long, and it was like, oh my gosh, so I was in the bathroom like de-peeling. It was crazy. Now, it has gotten much, much better. It's not de-peeling nearly as bad, so I think that over time it will completely stop. But the Drops Flora is a 65% wool, 35% alpaca blend, and this is the fingering weight. Now, one thing about this sweater is I knit it a little bit short, and last year when somebody did I think it's called Make It Work May, I won't swear to that, but basically it may have been Make It Work March. It was one of the M months. I think there's only May and March, so it had to have been one of those two. But basically it was take a knit that you don't wear very often because it needs to be longer or it needs to be shorter, or, you know, it's got a hole in it and you need to fix it, or you've got one sock and you hadn't made the other sock, whatever, but go and make it work. And I had this on the plans to make it longer. I knitted it a little bit shorter than what I expected it to grow more because of the alpaca. It didn't grow more. And so it's knitted a little bit shorter than what I really, really want it to be. So it has been on my list for a while to rip out that bottom and knit it longer and then redo the bottom. It won't take me that long. I've just got to get time to do it. But until then, I do wear it and I do like it. So, if I get around to it, I get around to it. If not, I'll just wear it and have to tug a little bit. But that is always my number one indication if I have gotten it too short, is I'm constantly tugging on it. Not just like if I stand up to make sure it's where it needs to be, but constantly. And this one I pretty much constantly tug on. All right. So moving along, you saw last week I got the Woody pullover, and I want to put a little thing up here. It's so cute. I got the Woody pullover to the best bestie who has ever bestied in the entire history of the universe. And I'm going to put a picture of her wearing it up here, but then I'm going to put the little video that she did not think that I was going to actually take, but then she did give me permission to post it. So she knows it's out there. It's on Instagram. And so I'm going to put it up here, and it's her kind of doing the little catwalk walk, and she works it, you know, she's swaying her hips. It's very funny, and it just highlights her personality to a T, and you can see why I love her so much. So I'll put that up here. It will have been playing on a little bit of a loop so that you could see it while I was talking about it. All right, so that is sorted, that is delivered, it is done. So off my needles. I will eventually knit another one for myself, and I found some beautiful yarn at Letha's last week. All right, but I digress. Let me pivot and tell you what I have been working on. And I have been working on several things, the same things I've been working on for the last several weeks, but I've made some progress. I decided that I would do the sleeves. I've told y'all before how much I hate Sleeve Island. I do not know what it is, but if I knit the sleeves before I finish the body, they don't bother me at all. I'm like, oh, this is going so fast. I don't know. It's some kind of mental thing, right? Whatever. I'm just going to embrace it. So I am knitting the sleeves on the Zuri Sweater, which is by Tox Knits. And it is just coming out beautifully. I can't wait to get down to the bottom. It's going to be 105 rows by the time I do all of the decreases, because I did pick up a couple of extra stitches. And so, because I do like it a little, I don't like it super tight right here at the top. So I usually pick up a couple of extra stitches and then I'll make it a little bit longer. And then once I get down there, and I'm at row 60, so I've got about 45 rows to go, so I'm more than halfway there. Once I get down there, then you do some of this cabling down at the bottom around the wrist. And I'm sorry, my nose is itching from this mohair. I'm really, really excited to get that done. I think that's just going to be beautiful, and it'll be around the bottom hem as well. But as soon as I get this sleeve done, then I will pick up and I will knit this other sleeve, and then I will start working on the body. And this is knit out of Knitting for Olive, soft silk mohair, and merino, both in the colorway Blue Tit. And they are beautiful. This combination, it may very well be my favorite color. I don't love the Blue Tit merino by itself. I think it's fairly dull, but I find that, and I'm really having trouble finding the mohair so that I can move it, but I do find that with Knitting for Olive, I think they're, oh, it fell in the floor. Wouldn't be a video if it didn't, but there it is. I find them fairly dull. I tend to find that with the merino, that the colors seem to be a little dull to me, but boy, you add that mohair with that silk sheen in it, and you just get this stunning combination. Oh, it is really beautiful, and it's really soft. And you may be wondering, why do you have 3 skeins there? Well, because this is still attached to the body, because I knitted the body down to where I needed to change out the mohair and decided I'd do the sleeve. So I do have this little bitty ball, and I catch it rolling all over the house, so I have to chase it down quite a bit because I forget that I've tucked it up in the sweater, and so I pick it up and it goes rolling, and then I have to chase it down. But the Zuri Sweater by Tox Knits, and she has a podcast. If you hadn't checked her out, be sure to go check her out. She's a lot of fun, and she's up in New England, so she has some really nice cold days where she can wear these sweaters. And she's got some other designs. She's got this in a cardigan that's free as well. And it's just beautiful. I can't say enough good things about it. The pattern's really, really easy to follow. All right, and then guys, I shared with y'all last week, I think, yeah, I know I had. I got the body done, right? Everything's done, got the hem done, got everything all done, and I haven't touched it this week. And why haven't I touched it? Well, because we have a baby, and I'll get to that in just a second. But meanwhile, she has just been sitting on the couch staring at me with little puppy dog eyes, right? Because she's like, why aren't you touching me? You only have the sleeves to go. Those sleeves would go really fast because it's color work and you'll want to work on me. Just pick me up. I have had to resist all week because I really, really need to get a couple of things off my needles before I do that. So she's just been sitting there, but isn't she absolutely stunning? And this is the Wintersoul by Adorable Knits, or Dorothy Officiers. And I just can't say enough good things about it. The color is just beautiful. I stole this colorway from her first sample. These are the colors that she had used, and I just fell in love. I felt like they were perfection. This will not be my last one. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, I will be able to get the sleeves done, and this will be done. Until then, I might have worn it once or twice as a sleeveless top. It is stunning. All right. Oh, and I guess I should tell you, I've told you in the past, so you probably all know this, and you're probably like, whatever, you don't need to tell me again. But if you're new here, you might not have heard what I am making this out of. I am using Drops Air, and this is Pearl Gray and Anthracite. This is a really, really dark charcoal gray, not black. And I just love these together. I actually have plans I'm going to use. I'm hoping that I'll have enough left over of this pearl gray that I'm going to use it with a really pretty possum that a friend of mine gave me. And I'm going to make a scarf out of the two together. The Kentra scarf by Crayabea. But that is the Wintersoul. She has not had any love this week, and she has been sitting over there pouting on my couch all week. But there are some things that have had some love. And as I said, we have a baby. Lilia Grace was born on the 26th of January, really early in the morning, like right before 5 a.m. Mother and daughter are doing very, very well. And what the pictures I saw, she's just beautiful. So I need to get this little dress done so I can send it off to her. And so I have got all of the increases done. And I'm down to the bottom. I've got about, I think, 1.5 centimeters until I'm to the point where it says I should decrease, which I won't. I won't do the decrease, so I'll just continue on, and then it's going to be like 33 centimeters from the top to the bottom. So since it'll be 16 centimeters here, there won't be very many centimeters for me to finish, and then I'll do a 1x1 ribbing. And then she will be done, and just look at this. Look how cute this is. I mean, can't you just see this on a little bitty baby? And I love the ribbing because this is a 3 to 6 month. But because of how ribbing does, right? Ribbing goes in and it kind of, it cinches in. It's like those little tops that I see girls buy, right? And you look at it and you go, there is no way. And it just stretches and then you can wear it. It's kind of like that. Ribbing is like that. So you can see this is a 3 to 6 month. I think it will fit the newborn, but look, it will stretch out enough that she'll be able to wear it for a little while. It won't be one of those, well, she wore it for a week and that was all she got. So I'm going to get this finished. This will be done next week. I'm going to buckle down. This needs to get done. And as I said, this is the pumpkin dress. I don't remember the name of the designer. I'll put it down here. It's on Hobie. It's for free right now. And it's also on Ravelry. You can download it from Ravelry. But it is a free pattern. And this is being made out of Sweet Skeins hand-dyed yarn. I call it Pretty in Pink because she wasn't doing colorways at that time. And I just find this beautiful. And pink is my favorite color. So Pretty in Pink it is. All right, so this will be done. I'm going to push through, and this is going to get done next week. Now, moving on to the other gift knit. And I said that I screwed something up so bad that I've got to rip it out. And guys, it is the baby blanket. I screwed up. I said, because it just wasn't looking right to me. I was like, why does that not look right? It doesn't look like the picture. Well, I said last week that it was a 9-row repeat. This is in a book. This is one reason I usually make copies whenever I'm doing a book. But anyway, I was looking at it. I'm reading. I see the 9 rows. Well, I just completely blanked and blocked out, apparently, this whole other column over here. It's a 16-round repeat. Well, I've already done 7 more rows, and they're not the same. So it's not like, oh, well, I can just read it. No, I'm going to have to rip this out. Well, I don't love this pattern, and I was questioning anyway because I don't really love doing lace for baby things, for like little bitty baby things, because their fingers can get caught and stuff. And so I was already questioning whether I really wanted to continue on with this. And this just made my mind up for me. I am not going to continue with the Baby Makes 3. So I did go out and look on Ravelry because I looked in all of my books and I didn't really find one that I was like, ooh, yeah. I have a couple of balls of worsted, so I need it to be, you know, smaller. And so I went out on Ravelry and I found a few things that I thought, oh, those are cute. One of them I'm not really sure I've got enough yarn for. But I'll put them up here. I've got 3 or 4 that I'm like, yeah, maybe. And if y'all can let me know, like, what do y'all think? It's one of those, should I pick one of these that I've been thinking about? Or do y'all have a better suggestion? If you want to drop me your go-to baby blanket when somebody says, hey, you know, my friend's having a baby, or you're becoming a grandma, or a mom, or your best friend's having a baby, or your granddaughter's having a baby, whoever's having a baby, right? You go, oh yes, this is the blanket that I'm making. Drop that down for me. I don't care if it's paid or not. Free is great, but I don't care. Doesn't have to be free. I will pay for a pattern if I like it enough. So if you want to drop me your go-to baby blankets, I would greatly appreciate it, because I do have 2 balls of this. This is the Cascade Pacific in the colorway Beet. I kept calling it Beetroot last week. It's just Beet. And it is this really, really beautiful kind of, it's kind of a magenta or color. It's not really red, but it's not really pink either. It's just a beautiful, beautiful color. And I want to do the blanket out of it. I've only got 2 balls. Letha does not have any more. And I don't want to get another one and have a risk of having a different dye lot. So whatever's got to just be the 2 balls. So that's why I kind of like this, because I could just knit it until I ran out of yarn. And so it'd be great if it was like that. A couple of them that I've got have patterns. Like one of them's an ABC. It's easy as ABC. Well, that's the whole alphabet. I don't think I have enough for that. The other one that's made by the same designer is easy as 1, 2, 3. And it's 1 through 9 or 10, I think. That one I might have enough yardage for. I would check that, of course. But I'm just really looking for something that's really nice. I don't want to just do a stockinette or just a garter or even just a moss stitch. I'd like there to be some kind of interest to it, but I don't want it to be like so hard that it's going to take me 6 months to do. So it needs to be fairly easy as well. Not that I'm asking a lot from y'all, right? But anyway, just drop me your favorite go-to baby blanket. All right. And then the only other thing that I have worked on, and I have only completed clue 2, and we are up to clue 4. So I am way behind, but I am working on I think it's Rujuu is how you say it. It's the yoke along, the mystery yoke along with Zanette Knits. Oh, this is beautiful. Let me get that down so that you can see. Look at this. Look at how beautiful that is coming out. Tried to hold it to where you can really see the whole pattern. There we go. It is just coming out so, so beautiful. Now, I did modify this just a little bit. Up here between the white, or it's not really white, it's ash. But up here between this ashy color, whitish color, and down here in this blue, there are 2 rows of the gray. Well, down here below this, and you're going to do another, almost the exact same thing again. There is only 1 row of that contrast color, that gray down here. And I went and looked at a bunch of different yokes out on the school website. That's where she's hosting her knit along. Now, she's got it on Ravelry too, but she's doing most of the stuff over on school. It's a social site. I don't completely... Now, I don't know if it's a European thing or what, but anyway, it's nice. If you've been on Discord or anywhere, it's kind of like that. And so people have been posting all their stuff, and I went and looked at the people who had gotten like the 4th clue done, so they had the whole thing. And I just didn't like it. I didn't feel like that there was enough of a thing. It just looked a little incomplete to me right there. So I just threw in another row of the gray, and I'll do it at the bottom of the other one too. It's not a big deal, right? It's an extra row. It won't really make a difference. It just, my little OCD feels better having that in there. So I've been knitting away on this. I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to concentrate on the, oh crap. I did not bring the Links Pullover. So here in just one moment, I'm going to have to pause and go in the living room and come back. I will do that. But anyway, I have been trying to concentrate on the baby stuff, and then the Links Pullover, which I didn't bring because I took it to the eye doctor's visit that I just came from. So I've got to run and get that out of my knitting bag. But I didn't want to get too terribly far behind. So I did want to get Clue 2 done, and so I worked on this a little bit last week, and it's just beautiful. And I am knitting this out of Sandusgarn Peer Gynt, and I'm knitting out of the colors Ash, Night Sky, which is a really dark blue. It's not black, it's really dark blue. And then this one right here is just gray. And I think these colors are just coming out beautifully. I'm really, really enjoying this. All right, let me pause, and I'm sure that I will look a little different when I come back, so there will be a little bit of a jump because I'm just not good enough to make it seamless. I don't know how to do that. I've got to be honest. This is my hobby, and I'm having fun, so I'm probably never going to get to that level of editing, and probably not ever going to get that level of editing software where I'm spending a lot of money on it. So give me just a second, and I'll be right back. Okay. We'll see how well I did about giving myself enough space to where that I could cut a little bit on either side, not cut myself talking, and maybe it wouldn't jump quite so much. I tried to sit back where I was before. We'll see how that went. But I ran and got the Links Pullover because I had an eye doctor's appointment and I took this with me. And so I'm sitting in the eye doctor's chair and I'm knitting away as they're asking me to read the things, and I'm like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay. I said, yeah, I don't have to look to knit. I'm just doing a ribbing. And then they left me in a dark room. I don't know if they do this at your eye doctor's place. They don't turn the light on, and so there's a little lamp, and so it's fairly dark, and so I had to use my phone to make sure that I was, oh, is that a knit or a purl stitch? Whenever I had set it down and needed to restart. But I got a little bit done. I was diligently working trying to get this body done. Obviously, I did not. And this is the one and only test knit that I have left on my needles. And I'm hoping I can get this done in the next week. We'll see. I've almost got the body done. I am down to doing the 1x1 ribbing down here. And this is going to be 3.5 inches of ribbing. So you can see I'm not very far on that ribbing, so I've got quite a ways to go. But isn't that just beautiful? Absolutely stunning. And I tried it on. It fits so, so well, except I have made the collar too tight. It just does not look good. It does not fit good. It pulls things in up here. It just does not look right. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to go ahead and get everything done. I'm going to do the sleeves. I'm going to get everything done. I'm going to get it all blocked. And depending on how much time I have left, I will either pull out the collar if I need to and rework it before getting pictures and stuff, or I will get pictures and I will say it's done so that I am done with the test knit in plenty of time, and then I will take care of the collar later. But it's just too tight. So I am going to wind up probably pulling this out. I've tried to pull some of it out, but I've only gotten like 1 or 2 stitches out because I did sew it down. And so, yeah, I may wind up having to just cut it, and then it's going to be a pain in the butt to get off. Oh well, but I will, because I am determined that I am wearing this sweater a lot. I've wanted an Argyle sweater that I knit myself for a very long time, and isn't this just beautiful? Just stunning. And this is the Links Pullover by the Crayabea, and it is a test knit, and it's due March the 2nd. So I am on a deadline, and I've only got a couple of weeks to go, so I really do need to concentrate on this and the baby things. All right, and that is it. That's all I'm working on right now. There is nothing hanging out that I'm even touching. There are things that are hanging out that I need to, that are out there going, hey, what about me? But they are just set aside. All right, now, if y'all want to leave now because I'm fixing to do a little bit of a chatty bit, I will completely understand and will say thank y'all for being here and hanging out with me for the whips and everything. But guys, while I was at the doctor today, oh my gosh, I pulled out my sweater. I was in the waiting room and I started knitting, and this lady across from me said, what are you making? And so I showed her, and she was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you do that, how you figure out that pattern. I was like, oh, no. I bought the pattern. I couldn't possibly do this myself. She's like, I couldn't follow it. She crochets and she quilts and other things, but she said she just could not figure out knitting. It just did not make sense to her. But so we got into this whole long conversation, and she showed me this picture. She had a friend who this friend's great aunt had passed away, and she had sent her a picture, and there was this picture of, and sorry, that was my watch. I have Minnie Mouse on my watch, and she talks to me if I hit her accidentally, which I did, and she tells me the time. But anyway, she showed me this picture, and it was at this woman's funeral. And there were at least 25, 30, maybe even 50 people, different genders. You know, there were men and women. There were a couple of kids and all. And every one of them was wearing a sweater that this woman had made for them. I thought, what a nice legacy. I hope that by the time that it is time for me to pass on, because I'm planning on living to the ripe old age of, I don't know, a long time, 90s, 100s, I don't know, until I get my stash knit up, right? I hope that by the time that I pass on, that I have made enough stuff for people, that my kids will be able to say, hey, for Mom's funeral, we're requesting that you wear something that she knit for you in honor of her. I just thought that was just amazing. And they were beautiful. They were all like color work yokes and everything. It wasn't just plain raglans. They were all like color work, kind of the Norwegian, Nordic type designs. It was just stunning. I was so impressed. And I thought, oh, what a legacy to leave behind. That is just amazing to me. All right. I was trying to think if there was anything else that had happened this week that I thought was, you know, worth mentioning. And I don't think so. I mean, I've just been knitting away. And oh, the Olympics are on. The Olympics are on. So if you're not watching those, there are some really pretty sweaters out there. You know, each team, the opening ceremonies, apparently each team had like sweaters and stuff. And so there's a lot of chatter going on about that. But I love figure skating, and so I've been watching the men's figure skating and the free dance, and, you know, of course, go USA. I can't help it. I'm American, so woo! Yes, I was very happy that we won the team gold. So, you know, just been watching that. I love the Olympics. I think it is something that brings people from all countries together. One of the things that in the team thing, and this to me was just, this is what the Olympics is all about. What they were talking about, I forget who it was that was talking, but there was a little thing where they were talking about the women in the team competition. And there's this Japanese girl, and I think her name is Chounri or something. Anyway, I'm sure that I butchered her name, but she's just cute as a little button. And she is such an incredible skater. And she had won the women's part of it. But since it's a team challenge, overall, the U.S. won. Japan came in second. But there was a lot of talk about that even if she, you know, if she winds up winning the gold, that there wasn't another skater that would be upset about her winning, because she is such a delightful person. And that, you know, of course, all of these athletes, they compete against each other, not just at the Olympics. They compete against each other on the way up, right, at world competitions and all of these. So they all know each other. And the fact that, while you can think, oh, I wish that was me, but the fact that you had people saying, we would be okay if she won it, because that to me is what the Olympics should be about, right? It's not about, oh, Japan won and we didn't, so boo-hoo, right? And it is, I mean, it is, you always want to win, right? Let's just be honest. If you're in a competition, you always want to win. But the spirit behind it of saying, this person deserved it. So I can be sad that I didn't win, but I can also be really happy that they did. So that was just a little thing that just kind of warmed my heart. All right. And with that, guys, that's it. I'm having shorter and shorter ones. So that's probably making some of y'all really happy. And I don't have any acquisitions this week, right? I have not been buying anything. I've been trying to tighten my belt just a little bit and not spend so much on yarn. But I do have, I did pick up some stash yarn from one of the ladies that I knit with. She had some Bobby Blue. I needed some to complete a project. And I only had like 4 skeins and I needed about 8. And she had 8. So I bought those from her. And I'll wind up doing something else with my 4, or I'll sell them or something. I don't know. But I was super excited because they're all in the same dye lot. So I've got a sweater planned for those. But that I did pick up. But other than that, I haven't ordered any yarn. I do have my eyeballs on some yarn at Letha's. And one of the special orders that I requested came in. So I'll be picking that up probably next week or the week after. All right. So with that, I am going to see y'all next week. If you haven't already checked out, I did release a video today. I record on Wednesday, so I released it on Wednesday, that is about where I buy my yarns. One of the most frequent questions that I get anywhere I post things is, where do you find those cones of yarn? And so I lay out all of the places that I source cones from, as well as all of the places that I source other yarns from. Some of them I know about, but I've either not bought from, like Pearl Soho. I've not bought any Pearl Soho yarn. I know that they're a big seller. And then another one that came up on as a comment on there was, which also reminds me, I almost forgot to say something. But one of the comments that came up was asking if I'd gone to Webb's whenever I lived in Massachusetts. Yes, I did. And Webb's was wonderful. And I spent a ton of money in there. But when they got bought out by Lovecrafts, it has really gone downhill. I haven't ordered anything from them in years and honestly forgot about them. So that's why I didn't include them as a resource. And honestly, I probably wouldn't anyway, because I can't recommend them. They're out of so many things, and I've just not had a very good experience with them the last time I ordered either. So anyway, there's that. And then the thing that I forgot to say was, woo! Thank you, everybody. Several people have found the community page and have posted pictures. And in fact, one of the ladies who is working on the Rujuu sweater, as well as me, she posted her picture. And oh my gosh, it is stunning. The pictures are beautiful. Those colors are gorgeous. So go and check it out. I will put a picture up here showing you. My friend Ginger sent me a screenshot of her phone and where the community button is. Now, one person said I could get to the community from my phone, but I couldn't post the pictures. I had to email them to myself and do it on the laptop. Thank you so much for doing that, because that blue sweater of yours is just gorgeous, and that hat looks so good on you. So I'm glad that you did persevere and get that done. But yeah, post stuff out there. I'd love, and go check it out. If you don't want to post or anything, go check out what other people have posted, because there's some really beautiful stuff out there. And let's just support each other, right? So drop me a line. Let me know what you're working on. Go post some photos out on the community site and support each other, right? Maybe get some good ideas for what you want to knit next. All right, and with that, I really am going to sign off now and tell you happy knitting until next week.